Lee with TestGeek Exam Prep LLC. I want to come to you today to talk about some test content that you most likely will see on the SIE exam, Securities Industry Essentials exam. One of the content areas that I've been hearing quite a bit about are stock splits or stock dividends. They are essentially the same thing, if you did not know that. A stock split is merely a larger stock dividend. Once it hits a 25% stock dividend, they then just call it a split. Okay? So, I want to see what happens if, let's say, you have a customer who owns 100 shares of stock, and the stock is currently at, let's say, $25 per share. Okay? Now, let's work on an easy one to begin with. Let's say the stock then undergoes a 2-for-1 split. Okay? Now, a question that I often get is, Brian, is there any math on the SIE? Well, that question I hear actually on all the exams. And the tests are generally not math-oriented. When I took the SIE, I had one math question. However, I didn't even need to use a calculator, because if you understand the concept, you really don't have to bother with the actual computation. These exams typically are not mathematical. If you think about it, mathematics is concrete. 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? Can't be anything other than that. Well, how are you going to make a standardized, ambiguous test when the answer choices are concrete? So most of FINRA's exams are not heavily weighted on math. Okay? So if you don't like math, that's good news for you. I'm a math junkie. I love math. I wish they were all math questions. But anyway, so here we go. We have 100 shares at 25, let's say, and it undergoes a 2-for-1 split. Okay? Which again is essentially a 100% stock dividend. Okay? You get 100% more shares. Okay? Now, there's two ways you can handle this, right? If you look at the textbooks, they're going to start throwing math formulas at you. Okay? However, there's kind of a general rule of thumb that you always want to remember for stock dividends or stock splits. Same thing. Okay? Is that in a dividend, a stock dividend, you're always going to get more shares. Okay? And of course, the price will then be adjusted down. Okay? So again, for the number of shares, that will increase, and the share price will decrease. See, now, one of the questions I remember seeing was a stock dividend, and there was only one answer choice where these two things existed. So I didn't even have to use a calculator. But of course, that makes you nervous, doesn't it? Right? Well, again, if you wanted to do it mathematically, no matter what happens after the dividend, it has to remain equal in value. Okay? So in a 2-for-1 split, it's 100%. You get 200 shares. Okay? Or you now own 200 shares. You get an additional 100 shares. And the stock price adjusts so that now, right, it still has to equal the original $2,500. That's really the key mathematically to it. Whatever value you start with, you have to end with. So you can just do the quick math, and it's $12.50 per share. Okay? But again, generally, you're not going to have to do the math as long as you remember this. Okay? Now, watch this. What if the company announces a reverse split? Okay? What happens in a reverse split? Generally, I tell people, if you own a stock and the company announces a reverse split, run! Because it's generally not a good thing. It means that the stock price has fallen so low, they might be kicked off of the exchange here pretty soon. So they do a reverse split to increase the share price. So in this case, again, let's say we own 200 shares at, oh, I don't know, and I don't care really, to be honest with you, 20 bucks a share. Now, in a reverse split, it is the exact opposite. Okay? Again, remember, they're trying to increase the share price so they don't get kicked off the exchange. So in this case, the number of shares will decrease and the share price, so they don't get kicked off the exchange, will go up. Okay? So again, there's generally only one answer that's going to satisfy both of those requirements. Otherwise, then you're just going to have to do the math. 200, that's $4,000. Depending on what the reverse split is, 10%, 20%, 30%, that kind of thing, then you'd have to do the math. But again, this, I'm telling you, is the shortcut. You won't even have to touch a calculator. Okay? If you can remember those two things. So this is for a normal split or normal stock dividend, and this is for the reverse split. Okay? So there you go. 2-for-1 split or any type of split or dividend. Right? Shares go up, price goes down. In a reverse split, number of shares go down, share price goes up. Okay? So don't be surprised if you see at least one or two of these on the test. Okay? There's one other kind of random concept that I want to mention to you as well. It's a test concept that's been around for quite some time. Okay? You should be able to find it in your textbooks. I know they're in the textbooks. And that's about political contributions. Okay? Especially for municipal bond underwriters, municipal bond dealers. Okay? Muni bond underwriters / dealers, broker dealers, whatever you want to call them. Okay? And there is a MSRB rule, Municipal Securities Rules Making Board. They are the SRO, Self-Regulatory Organization. You got enough of these acronyms yet? They are the SRO for municipal bonds. Okay? So, there is an MSRB rule pertaining to political contributions. So, if you wanted to go to a city, right? You hear that they are intending to issue a municipal bond. You're a muni bond dealer, and you'd like to underwrite this new city's bond. Well, wouldn't it be nice if you kind of paid the mayor a little political contribution? You hear he's going to be running for election next year. Yeah, see, it's such a potential conflict of interest. So that's why the MSRB has a rule pertaining to contributions. Now, we still want us to be dedicated citizens. So they will allow up to, but no more than $250 maximum contribution in a jurisdiction in which you are allowed to vote. Okay? Now, so anytime it exceeds that, okay, then the muni dealer could be banned for 2 years from doing any municipal underwriting for that municipal entity. Okay? Now, again, remember, this is for municipal bonds. States, cities, counties, school districts, port authorities, state municipal entities. So, what if you wanted to give a $1,000 contribution to a person who's running for the U.S. Senate in your jurisdiction? Well, that's not a municipal entity, right? State, city, county, that kind of thing. That's more federal. Or, you know, some other political contribution to some other U.S. Senate, perhaps not in your state, or something really silly like that. Now, what if I gave $100 political contribution to a mayor in the city in which I live? Okay? Well, that's within the $250. Okay? What if I were to give, let's say, $500 to a state legislator who was in my district, right? So which of these do you think then would initiate the 2-year ban? In other words, which of these, for a municipal bond underwriter, would be prohibited? And of course, it would be this one. These are both federal, they don't count. It has to be a municipality, one in which we live in, and it cannot exceed $250. Okay? This question's been on the test. It's been on a lot of different exams, as a matter of fact. I've seen it on the Series 7 top off. I've seen it on the Series 24 several years ago. Okay? So don't be surprised if you get a political contribution question. Now, it might look something like this. It might ask you what happens if we exceed the 250. Of course, then that means it would be banned for 2 years from doing any muni underwriting. Okay? So that's a random kind of question that shows up on the SIE quite a bit. Okay. Now, again, if you have any questions pertaining to the SIE exam, right, we have our SIE video course, which you can find with our link from our website, TestGeek examprep.com. Okay. We can also bundle this with the Series 7 top-off exam as well. Okay? If you want to, kind of save you a few bucks if you wanted to combine those into a bundle. Again, if you have any questions, comments, opinions, editorials, whatever, please feel free to shoot me an email, brian@testgeekexamprep.com. Again, happy hunting with the SIE. Remember, we're always looking for that P, right? Pass. There's only 2 scores on these exams, pass and not pass. So we're looking for that P. Hope you have great luck. Pass that series SIE. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a buzz. Take care. See you around the corner. Bye-bye.